Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy Matt here, and we back with another episode of Matter of Fact MMA. So today we're going to be talking about what's going on this weekend at the UFC. I believe this show is going to be at the Apex, coming back to the Apex on y'all haters. Yeah. Nah, I'm just playing. Nah, this weekend it's going down in Las Vegas at the UFC Apex. We got UFC Fight Night. Sean Strickland taking on Abus Magomedov. There it is. I said his name. I hope it was correct. If it was not, I'm sorry. Now, let's check it out though. So in this main event, this is kind of a strange main event. Sean Strickland, to me, tends to be a guy that the UFC it seems like they would want to stick into main events or fights with higher profile fighters, just because regardless when Sean Strickland's fighting, his trash talk or at least his talk throughout the entire fight week kind of hypes up a card or a current fight he's having, kind of creates a buzz, so it works for the card for the UFC. So against this guy, I mean, against Magomedov, you know, I'm not sure. I don't know. There's a lot of different theories as to why they created this fight. Some believe the UFC is, might be kind of leery, kind of cringe, so to speak, of Sean Strickland and his cringe talk. So they might be looking to get him out of there if they really feel like, Abus is the man that's going to go in there and finish Sean Strickland, or at least definitely beat him. And by him not being ranked, they can then lower Sean Strickland. Then there's another world where maybe the UFC really believe that Sean Strickland can go out there and work this guy, not easily, but fairly easily defeat this guy. Kind of keeps him, kind of propped up, kind of keeps him in a space in which, he can hold his position, and then eventually they can, possibly try to move him into another high profile fight or main event, and then if he wins that, possibly throw him in there for the title, mainly because when he fights for the title it will definitely sell, because he's going to talk his way into it, not talk his way into the fight, but into the pay-per-view or the show where he fights for the title. He's going to sell that, like, that man's going to be on the card. Come on, dude, you know what I'm saying? They got me in here, I'm about to fight for the title. I mean, come on, bro. I mean, he's going to do his thing. He's going to sell it. He's going to talk bad about people. He had one of the best comebacks, stopped him in his tracks on Israel Adesanya at that press conference where Sean Strickland was actually going to fight Poatan Alex Pereira. And I don't even remember what it was. I remember it, but I don't want to try to say it word for word because I'll probably mess it up. But his comeback against Izzy just stopped him in his tracks. And, Izzy had to recalibrate, so to speak, and then tell Sean Strickland he needed to be focused on Alex Pereira, which aged well. He did need to be focused on Pereira, but he stopped verbally Izzy in his tracks. Like, Izzy, like, oh, halted him, you know what I'm saying? Stunned him like one of them Powhatan left hands. Yeah, I still mess with Alex Pereira. That's what I'm talking about. Anyway, so in this main event, it's kind of hard to call. I mean, I don't know. It's a hard one to call. I don't know much about Sean Strickland's opponent. Based out of what I do know, I kind of have a feeling that Sean Strickland can probably beat him in a 5 round decision. Just, now I will admit, I don't know everything about Abus and his background and everything, and I haven't seen a ton of his fights at all. But based on what I do know about Sean Strickland, at least, and the little bit I do know about Abus, I kind of feel like Sean Strickland won't finish him, but I feel like he can get a 5 round decision. That's probably not a hot take. That's probably not far off of anyone's radar, but it's just kind of the feeling I have. I feel like Sean Strickland will be able to overall outpoint him. Sean Strickland's got kind of somewhat of an awkward jab. He's got definitely a decent 1-2. In his last fight, he started to incorporate a few kicks. So, he's always a game fighter. He's got tremendous cardio. He's never going to get tired. So, I think it should definitely be interesting. He's coming off a win. So, I definitely think Sean Strickland is feeling himself again. He got his win bonus back and everything. So, we'll see how it goes down. But that is the main event of that show. Going all off into, let me check my notes. The co main event, Damar Ismagulov. I apologize. I know I messed that up. We're going to call him Damir. Demir. Maybe that's better. Anyway, Demir versus Grant Dawson. Bro, this is going to be an interesting fight. Now, Demir was definitely the man previous to his retirement. This guy had extremely good wrestling. He could keep a good pace. He had a decent jab. He was definitely competent on the stand up. But his wrestling, that pressure that he puts on guys, I mean, definitely he was a guy to watch. I believe he was dealing with some sort of an injury or personal issue that kind of fueled him talking about, going ahead and retiring. But now he's back. But I will say in his last fight, he did seem to be just a half a step off to me of what he was previously. And Grant Dawson, I just feel like is a guy who's hungry and he really wants it. Like, and I know that's kind of trivial to say, but I feel like Grant Dawson is a guy who is going to be able to push the pace. And I feel like he's a guy that's got the heart where, you're not just going to be able to outclass him or outgrind him, so to speak, and he's just going to roll over and that's the end of the fight. You know what I mean? I don't see he doesn't seem like the type of guy to quit on himself. That's probably a better way to put it. So, personally, this fight could go either way. I'm kind of leaning toward Grant Dawson. I don't know, how the line is going on that. So I don't really know where that matches up with everyone else. But your boy right here, your boy Matt, on Matter of Fact MMA, I'm going with Grant Dawson. Now, I don't know. I might look back on this and be like, bro, why did I choose Grant Dawson? But right now, I'm going with Grant Dawson. Nevertheless, let's move on. We got Max Griffin versus Michael Morales. I feel like the UFC is setting up Max Griffin to get taken out, get finished by Michael Morales. I'm not really sure how that's going to go. Probably lean a little bit more toward Morales because I kind of feel like, Max Griffin didn't do as good as I thought he was going to over the Dirty Bird, old Tim, old Dirty Bird. So, I kind of feel like, it might be Michael Morales' fight. Ariana Lipski stepping in there against Melissa Gatto. I really like the way Ariana Lipski looked in her last fight. I'm sure a lot of people like the way Ariana Lipski looks. But in the last fight, I thought, she definitely did well. She definitely improved a lot on her stand-up. She was pretty good on the grappling side as well the last fight. But her stand-up, she was very accurate as well. I would probably go along with her, but it's hard to call because Melissa Gatto ain't no joke. She's a very technical fighter, but I'd probably go along with Lipski on that. Last thing I want to say, I got to go along with Bomb Theme on his fight against Benoit, maybe it's Benoit St. Denis. You know what I'm saying? Bruno Ferreira, I got to go along probably with Bruno there. Good, strong guy, heck of an athlete. That should definitely be a good fight right there, regardless. Kevin Lee making his return. I mean, I don't even really have too many words before Kevin Lee left. I mean, he didn't look that good when he was out there against the nightmare, Diego Sanchez, whose life's been a nightmare for a long time, but he hasn't been the nightmare. And that's no disrespect to him because I like that guy. Hopefully everything's going well for him now, but I can't get into Kevin Lee no more. Like you can't put anything behind him. But I mean, couple other pretty good fights. No disrespect, we're probably going to see Yana Santos, Yana Kunskaya probably go out there and take that L to Carol Rosa. So, pretty decent little cards, you know what I'm saying? Romanov stepping in there, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is, man. Nice little fight card to kind of get us ready for Volkanovski and Yair, you know what I'm saying? Kind of wet your whistle, You know what I'm saying? Kind of quench your thirst a little bit. You know what I'm talking about? So anyway, that's going down this weekend. It was just a couple of the fights I kind of got my eye on. We'll see how those play out. I'll probably be right back with you. We're gonna go over a couple of MMA news topics. We're gonna get into a couple of things. So I'll be right back with y'all. But in the meantime, I appreciate you guys for watching another episode of Matter of Fact MMA. Like, subscribe, comment. Throw a few comments down in the bottom right there. Throw them in the bottom, from the dirt up under the map. You know what I'm saying? Throw a few little comments down in there. Y'all can get into an argument in the comments. Let's get a little chitter chatter on this channel so your boy can upgrade out of this vastness that you see through this camera lens. So nevertheless, I appreciate you guys for watching these videos. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Matter of Fact MMA. And I'll check you next time. Peace.